Call this meeting to order. This is to advise the general public that in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the Little Lake Harbor Board of Education caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education, located at 307 Frog Pond Road in Little Lake Harbor, New Jersey, and faxed on January 8th, 2020 to the Asbury Park Press, Atlantic City Press, and the office of the Municipal Clerk of Little Lake Harbor, meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Roll call, Mr. Balone.
Here.
Mr. Keeb will be marked absent. Ms. Palin.
Here.
Ms. Roth.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Roth. Dr. Snyder.
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman. And Ms. Januzzi.
Here.
Okay. The board has completed their discussion in executive session. I'm going to ask everybody to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Share screen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it
which
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
All right, thank you, everybody. We're going to move to item number 6, the approval of the agenda. I recommend a motion to approve the June 15th, 2020 agenda. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor of approving the June agenda as presented, say aye.
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 All
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. Item number 7, approval of minutes. I recommend a motion to approve the following minutes from May 18th. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Balone,
Yes.
Ms. Palin,
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman. Just going to keep calling him until he jumps on here, and Ms. Januzzi.
Yes.
All right. The motion carries. There are no presentations for the Board of Education this evening, so we'll move to number 9, the report from Dr. McCooley, for the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I will be brief, and then I'm actually going to turn it over to Mrs. Lichtenwalner. All I have is just to reiterate once again, as the school year is coming to a close, we have been putting together the presentation for the promotion ceremony. Mr. Denning did an amazing job. I want to thank the PTO for their donation and doing the signs for the students. That was great. And we literally every day are reading broadcasts that come out from the New Jersey Department of Education. And as those broadcasts come out, we read them, we discuss them, and we make our plans accordingly. Plans are changing every day. The guidance that we're getting is very unclear for September. What we are working on as a team is a document that's going to contain plans A, B, and C. And depending on the status of the state, the nation, and school at that time, we will be implementing the plan that's most appropriate. We have ordered PPE. We're trying to be proactive. It's just very difficult because we don't know the status of the state in September, but we are making the best plan that we can, and that will be shared with the board once it is complete this summer. And I know that the governor made some type of announcement on Friday at 4 o'clock about special education and ESY being available this summer. However, when he does things like that, it's difficult because there's no details accompanying it. And that's a very challenging thing to implement. So I'm going to turn this over to Erin to explain that a little bit.
Sure. Good evening. So basically, like Dr. McCooley said, we were given a really surprising announcement, I think, from the governor saying that we should make every effort to open. And the guidelines are very limited. What we did, Marissa Elwood, who's also on the call, we met all weekend really and tried to come up with plans similar to what Dr. McCooley was talking about with A, B, and C. As of this moment, we are virtual. But we sent out a parent survey today to try to see if there is an interest for parents to send their children in for an in-person option. We had a meeting this morning with facilities, with technology, with our food services, and just trying to see if we can, make sure that we have the proper equipment, get the facilities ready to go. So we are exploring the option of being in person. There was an NJPSA webinar today with members of the Department of Education, and they gave very limited information and guidance as well. I also met with a group of Ocean County directors who are right now all staying in the virtual forum for ESY. But we will be we want to analyze what our parents are saying, and we want to make sure that we look at every aspect. And if we are able to open in some capacity safely, we will do that. But by the end of this week, we will know what our final plan is.
Are there any questions from the board about that?
Can I just ask something and say something? Just again, one of my pet projects is to listen to the governor every day. I don't know why, I guess, even though graduation has passed for my son, but it's made it seem like a lot of parents wanted ESY face-to-face for their kids. And if that's the case, is there something that we can gain from this with a small subgroup? So this is the scientist in me, a small subgroup of trying social distancing with our hardest group of students on a small scale in a confined environment and learn from it. Do you know what I mean? Before we open the doors to the floodgates of, however many hundreds of students.
So that's a great question, Dr. Schneider, and I'm gonna start, and then Erin can jump in. So we actually were meeting about this and debating about this morning. So for example, let's say we brought in a small group of special ed students face to face. We have to adhere by the guidelines that are set forth that came out last week in regards to summer programs. So that is 10 students in a room, and they only can have one adult, and that adult has to be consistent the entire time that they're taking the program. So now that eliminates any student that has a one-on-one, because we can't have two adults in the classroom. These are the challenges that we're gonna face by trying to bring in students, adhere by the guidelines, and make sure that we're adhering to their IEP. How do they get speech? How do they get PT, OT? Those are all different adults. According to the regulations, they can only be exposed to one adult the entire time they're in the program.
I think it's a really good point. And we've looked at, I can't even tell you how many options. I mean, literally Friday night at 10 o'clock, Marissa and I were Zooming, trying to come up with every possible scenario that we could at least get kids in for related services or get them in just, for certain aspects of their program. But I think, and it's not a no. What I'm seeing from the survey results that we've gotten so far, we've gotten about 50 parents respond so far, which I think is a really decent number. They all want it in person, but similar to your concerns, there are just so many things that are up in the air that we can't guarantee. We can take people's temperatures, we can try to get the equipment in on time. Getting the equipment is also a huge challenge. Getting transportation, we're going to have to basically have a bus rotating in the entire time because we have to follow social distancing on a bus. So there's a lot of factors, and we are looking still. We're not saying, I know a lot of districts have already just made the decision, we're definitely doing virtual, we're not even considering it. We are still in the process of figuring it out. So, it's going to be a balance between the parents are all saying we want in person. The staff, a lot of the staff want in person. That doesn't mean that they necessarily are able to give the services in person, but people think that that's the best way. We just may not be able to do it safely.
And that's a good point, Dr. Snyder. So Aaron had selected staff members for virtual ESY. And then when the governor made his announcement last Friday, we had staff members say, I'm not coming in. So that we had to post again to get different staff members that did want to come in. And I think if parents have the complete conceptual understanding of the restrictions, then they can decide, yes, I still want my child to come in face to face. I want them to have all the information. That's why Aaron's doing the survey to say, with these restrictions, would you still want your child to be part of a face-to-face ESY program?
Well, I guess that's the concern. Like if you're going to send your kid there for an hour, because let's be real, if your teacher can't leave the classroom, even to use the restroom, you can't have them there for 3 hours. I would think not. And
right.
Wearing a mask, just having worn a mask, doing different tasks, you shouldn't be wearing them for that long. You should be able to have a break. So, is it worth it to send them for an hour and a half and then be on the bus for like a half an hour each way? It's not necessarily worth it. But also too, are you going to get students participating in a virtual aspect? And I hate to say just bail on ESY for 1 year, but if we're not going to get the results out of it, is it worth it to have it?
Well, I think we would have to offer it to them. And then if they didn't want to take the services, I mean, I've heard some of it's going well. Like a lot of the parents were raving about their speech services, and it's hard to do OT and PT virtually, but the ones that we can, they're really putting forth their best.
Addison's love speech, and Ms. Wills-Croft has been wonderful doing it face to face. But at what point too have these kids had enough of looking at the computer? And I think that's part of, it for all of us,
Our next step is going to be looking at a compensatory program. So when we come back in person, we're going to have some sort of compensatory program that, either in July or August, Marissa and I will be presenting to you guys so you can see what we plan on doing to provide that extra support when we get back. Not that we're ever going to make up for, things that have happened over the past 3 months, but, make an attempt to fill in some of those gaps that we've had from virtual learning.
And just one thing with that said, I hope that that's across the board and not just special ed.
Oh, of course.
I think that that's going to be something that's going to be needed for all students.
Yeah.
What about breakfast and lunch?
So we're still, Mike Simontini calls it business as usual. What we're doing now with those 5 meals of breakfast and 5 lunch for the week, we're still planning on doing that. And if less people start coming on Monday, which hasn't happened yet, we'll just take the number down. But we're going to continue to do that where we're, serving the food on Mondays.
What about during ESY though?
He said whatever we need. If, if we do have students in the building, he can accommodate and feed them. These are, some of our families are the ones we're delivering large boxes of supplies to as well. So anything that we're doing currently to service their needs, we're going to continue with.
Thank you.
And we did get an extension of the waiver that allowed us to continue the food service program that we've done since the shutdown began through the summer, which is, I think, beneficial to the local community as well, beyond the ESY participants. Were there any other questions, or Dr. M, did you have anything else for your update?
Nope, that's it. I've been sending information to the board, and I'll continue to do that. As things come in, I send it to Deb and she summarizes, or I send it to all of you, and I'll keep doing that.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Lichtenwalner, for the information. All right, board, we're going to move on to item number 11 on the agenda, which is the board work session. Typically in this time of year, we begin our planning for next school year, and that starts with the board work session and retreat. Unfortunately, we're awaiting some guidance from DOE on what would be an acceptable way for the board to get together and plan. So we're going to table. Yes.
I think you skipped agenda items, board forum, residence forum. Did we skip that?
Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Let me back up there. Item number 10, residence forum agenda items only. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues, and the importance of allowing members of the public to express with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy number 0167. The public may comment on any item on the agenda at this time. General public comment will occur later in the meeting. Mr. Yates, do we have anybody for public comment at this time?
No, we do not.
do you mind reminding everybody, do you have handy the phone number for public comment so we can just,
I do not have that handy. I can look it up real quick.
yeah, we'll just remind everybody.
Number, if you'd like, I can, I'll say the number. The number is 1-609-294-2293.
294-2293, 609-294-2293 is the number for public comment. There's a second public comment later in the agenda. If you have any comment, can be heard at that time. No, because there's no public comment, we're going to move to item 11, the board work session. We discussed, the board would normally be discussing the retreat. That discussion will be tabled until we have some better guidance from DOE. There's a new job description for an instructional technology coach. Dr. M, do you mind speaking to that new job
Yes,
description?
Mr. Baronato is created this position to assist our teachers with the implementation of our programs that are technology based. This position is being 90% funded through grant money. And for some reason, if that grant money weren't there, it would not be sustainable. However, we do have the money right now, and we feel with the Bass River teachers coming, it's nice to have that extra support to learn our programs, to learn the technology in the classroom, and that this person will still be doing some portion of instruction, correct, John?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so they're going to have a few classes as special education, and then they will be an instructional coach for the remainder of the day.
And were there any questions from the district's website, Dr. M?
No.
All right, Ms. Januzzi, the president's update?
Yes, I received a letter from the New Jersey General Assembly that Assembly Resolution number 154 was adopted, and I just want to read what that's about. So the statement says, this Assembly Resolution honors the contributions of teachers in response to the novel coronavirus COVID-19 public health emergency and recognizes May 4th through May 8, 2020 as National Teacher Appreciation Week. Following the recent outbreak of novel coronavirus COVID-19 and the public health emergency that ensued, the people of New Jersey are reminded of the tireless contributions of their teachers who have risen to the occasion to support our children during the period of unprecedented crisis. During the public health emergency, which resulted in the closure of all public, private, and parochial schools in the state, teachers quickly responded by developing innovative lesson plans to allow over 1.4 million public school students to continue their education through remote instruction. Despite the many challenges posed by remote instruction, the state's educators have successfully employed unique teaching strategies using online platforms to help students understand abstract concepts and develop critical thinking skills, all of which are essential to academic development. During this time, teachers have also spent countless hours collaborating with parents to ensure that every student remains engaged with their schoolwork. Even while many of these teachers continue to care for their own children who are also at home. Although the societal effects of COVID-19 may recede with time, the contributions of educators during this public health emergency will always be remembered. In light of these contributions, it is altogether fitting and proper for the state of New Jersey to recognize and celebrate National Teacher Appreciation Week, which has annually observed during the first week of May since 1985. So I thought our teachers and our staff, our administrators have worked tirelessly to ensure that all of our students get the education that they deserve. There was just one other thing that I just wanted to mention. I know that all of you have read the email that I sent you about the code of conduct for remote meetings, and I just want to make a suggestion to the Board of Ed. If we could, in the near future, develop a policy and regulation that would coincide with everything that we've been going through the last couple of months in reference to our meetings that are virtual. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Janetti. We are going to move on to item 12, finance. I'm going to recommend a motion to approve finance items A through DD. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Roll call vote. Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Ms. Janetti?
Yes.
That motion carries. There are no facilities updates at this time. We're going to move to item number 14, technology. Recommend a motion to approve technology items A through G. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
I have Mr. Balone and Ms. Janetti. Are there any questions? Roll call vote. Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
And Ms. Janetti.
Yes.
Finally got.
That motion carries. Are there any new business items at this time? Okay. We're going to move to number 16, informational items. The following items are being presented for informational purposes. Community school financials through May of 2020 and correspondence from Mr. Seth Cole, our facilities manager. We're going to move to item 17, personnel, and I'm going to recommend a motion to approve personnel items 1 through 4. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you, Deb and Mr. Zimmerman. Are there any questions? Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
And Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Those motions carry. Item number 18, there are no HIB to report at this time, so we'll move to item number 19 on the agenda, policies and procedures. Recommend a motion to approve policies and procedures, items A through F. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Balone,
Yes.
Ms. Palin,
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
And Ms. Januzzi.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. The following items are being presented for informational purposes, enrollment and attendance reports. We've reached item number 20, public comment. The floor is now open for members of the public. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy 0167. There's a sign-in sheet located on the podium. The number to call in is at the bottom of the screen. Please, just sign in before you speak, but please state your name. John, are there any public comment at this time?
None at this time.
Okay, as we've done before, we're just going to wait 30 seconds for the live feed delay to allow any members of the public that wish to rush to the phone and call in a public comment at this time. Item number 21 on the agenda is board forum. Ms. Januzzi, can you take it from here?
Yes, sure, of course. I want to just shout out to our graduates. Our promotion ceremony is this week. I want to congratulate the 6th grade students and good luck on entering your junior high school. Also, once again, congratulations to all the retirees. And I want to just praise the administration and the teachers and all the staff for all the work that you've done this last couple of months. I bet you're all waiting for a vacation because it's really going to be a good vacation. Relax, be with your family, enjoy, and please, everyone stay safe and healthy. Does anybody else want to say anything from the board?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
Deb, do you mind if I say something?
of course.
So I just want to give one more shout out, and I know that we went through all the retirees, but I can do this because I'm monopolizing the meeting right now. I just want to thank once again Madge Rosenberg for the amazing job that she's done for the last 30 years for Little Egg Harbor. That's a long time, and putting up with superintendents is not an easy job. This is her last board meeting. However, she still lives in Little Egg and we know where to find her. So she is going to still help us transition Mary Ellen Jen into the role. Just thanks. I know she's listening because that's Madge. So thank you again for everything that you've done, and you will be truly missed. But like I said, you're not far. We'll find you.
Just for her putting up with me is enough. You kidding me?
That's it.
Any other members of the board wish to speak during board forum? Okay. There is no second executive session this evening. So item number 23 on the agenda is a motion to adjourn. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I'm giving the second to Ms. Palin because she was polite and I come to there. Be it hereby resolved by the Little Egg Harbor Board of Education to